here with David, Ovi, and Kemi, who just lost the comeback comp and will soon be heading home. But before they do, we have some questions for the three of you, some more questions, I should say. Well, first of all, I have to tell you what's going on in the house, because it's like lots of screaming right now. I want to confirm to you, look at the big smile on David's face. Okay. Bella and Nick were completely blindsided by tonight's eviction of Cliff. What did you just say, Kemi?
Explicit, yeah.
Okay. Are they the enemy right now?
Not my enemy.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, why, Kemi? Yeah.
Nick and Bella, primarily Bella, has been playing both sides of the house since pretty much week one. Last week, them winning HOH was their saving grace. I firmly believe that if they didn't win HOH, they would have been up right next to each other. I could be wrong, but you know, no one likes a two-headed snake. At least one head has to get cut off.
All right, the three of you all spent time in Camp Comeback. I'm going to ask the same question to each of you. We'll go down the line or just scream out your answers. What were the advantages and what were the disadvantages to being in Camp Comeback?
I didn't know anything different but Camp Comeback.
I know.
So that was my game from the beginning. Maybe that's an advantage for me, just playing the social game. And when people got to know me in the house, then they see, oh, it's not somebody here to just tear the house apart, but I was there to help the house, keep things in control. And then before this moment, I had a chance to make impact. I was going to be part of an alliance and going to make big game moves if I had opportunity.
If you had gotten back in, you said you were going to target Mickey.
Yeah.
Who do you think you could have drawn into an alliance of you to help get him out?
Sam, Nick, Bella, Nicole, Cliff.
Sam sometimes thinks he's in an alliance with them. That's a whole nother thing you have to see when you go home. All right,
man.
Ovi, what were the advantages, what were the disadvantages to being in Camp Comeback?
Yeah, I think the advantages were that, we're out, so they can't evict us again. So you do have time to think about things and not be so paranoid about them. You know that there's a date coming by, so that gives you time to make real bonds. But on the flip end of that, it's kind of a social probation in some ways. After that rule came down where people don't want to talk game with us, some people still talk game with us, but large groups, you would see you come down there and someone would conveniently go this way, that way, and they would all form. And then there's another group right there and you're alone just sitting out in the yard. So, I think the disadvantage was the brand of Camp Comeback. People saw that and let's stay away from that.
Kemi, did this change your game being sent to Camp Comeback?
I would say, I don't know, because I was close with Nick and Bella at the beginning of the game, so Camp Comeback or no Camp Comeback, that kind of ended the relationship. But piggybacking off what Ovi said, yeah, when you get into a group that is probably talking game, people kind of dispersed, and that was a little uncomfortable. And unfortunately for me, I'm one of those people that I either like you or I don't, and there's no middle ground. I thought I could play a different game in the house and kind of turn it on, but I either like you or I don't, and it's difficult.
Well, you started out really liking Bella, correct?
I did.
And now?
I admire Bella coming into the game and playing hard. I love someone who plays the game hard. I really do. I don't agree with her philosophy on life a lot of the time.
Do you think when Bella is lying that she realizes she's lying? Or do you think she believes what she's saying?
Yeah, I think Bella definitely lies to herself and makes her, it's one of those things where if you tell a lie enough times, you start thinking it's the truth and you can kind of move forward with it with a clear conscience because it's your truth at this point. But she wears her emotions on her face, so she's very expressive when she lies and she talks over herself, and it's easy to see when she's lying. In retrospect, I wish I knew that coming into the game, but it is what it is.
When you called out Bella and Nick, was that strategy or was that personal? Or a little both?
I knew that I was going home, And if you're going to throw my game to hell, I'm going to drag you down with me. So at that point in the game, I really didn't care if I blew up their game. I wanted to see it happen firsthand, knowing that I was going to Camp Comeback. Because, I mean, especially confirming with Nick that he did try to snake my game, I'm not sure why he wouldn't expect me to snake his as well.
You're a super fan of Big Brother.
I started watching last year, but yeah, I am a super fan.
Okay. Was it what you expected?
It's so different than what I expected. I didn't realize there would be that much downtime.
Let me ask you something, because other than that, epic speech of calling out Nick and Bella, we saw you hold your tongue at times. Was that hard for you?
It was very difficult for me. I don't like feeling disrespected. It took me about 25 years of life to realize there's a difference between feeling disrespected and actually being disrespected. So I like to kind of take time and absorb the situation and try to analyze it before I react in the house. It didn't always happen, but that's what I tried to use the diary room for.
David, what surprised you most about your housemates?
First coming in, everybody being so nice to everybody.
Say again?
Everyone being nice to everyone.
You were surprised by that?
I was surprised by that because I felt like if the chicken didn't taste good, and people would compliment the chicken tasting good, that was just a terrible lie. People would just tell everyone as a play on being safe. Everything that everyone did, whether it was washing dishes or cooking chicken or where people hang out, was all a play on the entire game at every single moment. That's what it felt like, and that was the weirdest part to me.
You're saying that niceness was fake? It was all political?
Absolutely.
And that surprised you? No, come on, there's $500,000 on the line.
It surprised me at first because I'm just used to an honest life, and I just wasn't expecting such dishonesty at every single moment. If you can't cook, you shouldn't continue to cook. People in the house should be like, hey, someone else should cook.
I should say, in your defense, this is Big Brother, and you didn't know all that much about Big Brother until you came on, but now I'm sure you know more than you want to know.
A lot more.
Yeah, it
was fun.
Ovi, what would you have done if you had gotten back into the house?
Oh man, there's so many things I would have. Actually, I don't know what I would have done, but I know I would have worked trying to win that HOH, put myself in a power position. Even if not, I know that I had Cliff to rely on. I felt that I was pretty close with Mickey and Holly. I'm not really sure some of the other people in the house. I just figured out I had the nightmare power, and that just, I know, I'm sorry. That's, I feel like I can say that now. But it hurts me knowing that I couldn't use the power. I wasn't in a position to use it once, and that frustrated me. It hurt me a lot. So it's tough going out of the game knowing you have the power in your pocket.
Let me tell you something. Everyone walks away from this game and says, I'm so glad I did it. I want to do it again. I want to do it again. Going down the line, what's the best thing you're going to take away from your experience in the Big Brother house? Or Camp Comeback, David?
A detachment from society, just having to figure out how to entertain yourself, especially being ostracized from the house itself, but also not having things to escape. Those are moments when you're by yourself.
Ovi?
Two things. I think being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and then making a lifelong best friend with a 54-year-old man from Texas. I mean, who would have thought a 5'7" brown boy from Tennessee would be, at least from my side, best friends with a man from Texas. And I love the guy, I love Cliff, and I'm so glad that he's still in the game.
So
if anybody deserves to still be in the game, he fights, and he's an incredible man. So I love him so much. I'm so glad out of this whole experience, I made somebody a friendship that I never thought I would have.
Kemi, what's the best thing you're going to take away from this whole experience?
I think it's similar to Ovi. I think just the admiration for different sorts of personalities. I would have never thought that I would admire and love someone like Sam so much. I'm hoping he's not talking crap about me in his diary room, but I can't even express how much I love him. So just really getting to know, it sounds cliche, but everyone that I come across on a deeper level.
Well, I do want to say that after you all go home and get to watch everything, we are looking forward to having you all back at the end of the season to get your thoughts then, because I know it's hard now. You've been in this bubble. But Kemi, Ovi, David, thank you so much. We really enjoyed watching.
Thank you so much.